What's up, guys? Caleb here with GamerFaith.com, and as you can see, this is something totally new, and we have special guests. I got those for my fiance for Christmas. She loves Pikmin. It's her favorite. But as you can see, there's some gameplay going on the screen here. You can either choose to completely ignore that and enjoy the wonderful Splatfest music that is going on in the background, or you can watch it. I find that sometimes watching this type of thing is very relaxing to me. And for this type of series, the website is called Gamer Faith, and I thought we could do something where we just kind of relax while you're drinking your coffee, doing whatever, and discuss important stuff to us. And I wanted to call this Let's Grow instead of Let's Play, because we're going to be talking about stuff and opening discussions and maybe probably doing some Bible study type of stuff in short segments and just relaxing and trying to grow our hearts as a community. Few little things to note. First off, obviously this is post-commentated. Second off, don't go by what I say just because I say it. I'm not an expert. Go by what God says. What God says is what is important. And some of this, may be my opinion, and you can't just go by my opinion because it's my opinion. But I want to just be sort of general in this conversation because I think that there's just a few important points that we need to consider. I get asked this type of thing a lot, or have things said about this type of thing quite a lot. So I thought it would be a good way to open up this series, especially since there's the gameplay going on. But the question is playing video games, and I'm going to throw like movies into this also. Is that bad or worldly or a distraction? And therefore we should not do it. Right off the bat, yes, it can be. It can be bad. It can be a distraction. It can be all of those things. And we have to be careful about that. But what I'm going to throw out there for you to consider, okay, is that, first off, there are movies and there are games that are totally, just, in my opinion, out of the question. I definitely, my conscience does not feel okay going out and playing, Grand Theft Auto. My conscience does not feel okay going out and going to see the Deadpool movie because I've heard that it's, going to be just explicitly violent and explicit nudity and stuff like that. And so I'm just going to stay away from that because I know that it would bring me lower as a person and not higher. It's not like sort of a thing where I feel like this isn't, going to hurt me. Those things are obviously have a tendency that they're probably going to drag me down. And on the other hand, though, they're like games like Mario or Splatoon or something like that, or movies, along the same lines. I'm more or less talking about those. Are they a waste of time and worldly? If you're going to think about it this way, I urge you to just be fair about it, okay? Because if these are bad because they're a distraction, then immediately we have to consider every other hobby that takes time, that is not directly associated with walking around on the streets and talking to people about God. We have to consider that a distraction, and we have to consider that at the same level, like playing basketball. Is that bad? Is that a bad hobby? Reading, even reading something like C.S. Lewis, it's got a Christian theme, but is that a waste of time because it's storytelling? Is art a waste of time? I personally don't think that it is. I think that art and culture and storytelling has value, and I think that movies and gaming are forms of storytelling and art. Now, with that being said, I think there's definitely a tendency for people to overdo it, and for people to make that their life. And I think any of those hobbies, any of those things, when that becomes what you live for, what you wake up for, the top thing on your mind, the thing that makes you the most excited, when Star Wars gets you more excited than God, there's clearly like your priorities are out of whack. And that's a real danger for a lot of people. So if that's you, I would urge you to think about that and consider that. At the same time, like for example, we on the Gamer Faith website, we take a lot of cultural things like Star Wars, for example, and we'll write an article about it. And if you look at that article, what that article is it is something that is out to spread the good news. It's out to help people grow in their relationship with God. It seeks to help people love God more, help people love others more, which is our mission. And I believe the mission of Christians in general should be to grow your heart, to be able to do that. And how do you grow your heart? You plug into God, because God's the one that can change your heart, okay? So, but a lot of times we use something like Star Wars to do something like that. Is that bad? I personally don't think that it is. A lot of people will say, oh, but Star Wars is witchcraft, or Star Wars is worldly, or Star Wars is evil. And I think that Star Wars is a form of storytelling, and I think that you're in a dangerous place if you are trying to justify yourself based off of what you don't do. Like, I don't watch movies, and if you do, then you're a watered down bad Christian. I think that's sort of a scary place to be, and I think that if you're in that place of what can I eliminate, what can I do in order to be, less lukewarm of a Christian, yes, absolutely don't be a lukewarm Christian, but because, I like Star Wars, does that make me a lukewarm Christian? And I think it's a dangerous place to go to judge people in that way. There's something about gaming and movies, probably the tendency of a lot of them are bad, straight up. But something like sports doesn't always get as much criticism. It's like there are people who live for basketball or football, and I like, I really like to watch football. But you have to be careful not to make that your idol, make that your God, obviously. With Gamer Faith, though, it's like we're using culture and storytelling, there's a whole community of people out there that are into that. And we're using that as a way to reach out and give people a hopeful message, and share with people, God and help them in that way. And I would encourage you, whatever your hobbies are, whatever you do, put God at the center. Whatever you do it for the glory of God. I believe it's 1 Corinthians 10, but I would encourage you guys to read that. I think that's the right chapter. I would encourage you guys to check that out as extended reading for this video. Now, with all that being said, I would urge you guys to just simplify it and look at the heart, okay? I believe that God cares about the heart in this situation, and sometimes we have these preconceived notions about certain things. There are some of you out there who are probably adamantly against going out to see movies. There are also people out there who are really, really, really hoping that I'll give you the information that gives you the excuse to continue going on watching whatever you want. I think that we are accountable for what we let in, and I think that we can tell where our heart is based off of what is coming out. So I would urge you guys, instead of focusing on what can I do, you can't justify yourself. Only Christ can justify you. Only God can change your heart. So I urge you to instead focus on plugging into God. Read your Bible. Make Him the center. Make Him your greatest satisfaction. Do all of those things. And whatever you do, do it for God's glory. I think that that's the route you should go. And if you're struggling with this and don't know, exactly what route to go, I'd say there's a pitfall on either end of this subject that would be easy to fall into, and I urge you guys to pray about it and listen and try to figure out what is God speaking to you specifically, because I don't think that this is exactly a black and white situation where there's one clean-cut answer for everybody. I think that it is important to think of games and movies as what they are, which is a hobby, a piece of art, a piece of storytelling. And I think that sometimes people attribute too much or too little to these things, as far as their value is concerned and as far as their effect on our life is concerned. So keep your heart plugged into God, and then pray about this situation. Where I'm currently at, I'll just tell you where I'm currently at, is I have to be careful how much time I spend playing games, because I don't think that it's suitable for me to play all day, but I do have a comfort level in playing it some. I've been playing Splatoon a lot. It's a way that me and my little brother stay in contact. It's also a way, watching movies and writing articles and stuff like that, it's also a way that I reach out. Not I, but God is able to, touch these people's lives that are interested in these certain things. And I would consider this type of thing more like a Christian sports team, like a Little League sports team, a Christian Little League sports team. Sorry, can I be as specific as possible there? I think this is that sort of thing. So is that wrong? Because that's a waste of time and worldly. I would invite you to focus on the heart issue of that and decide whether that is bringing good or bad or nothing. And then think about gaming and movies in your life, and think about, is it bringing good or bad or nothing, and what needs to be adjusted. And then I want you to try to think about, what can you do to make sure that God's at the center, He's your satisfaction, and everything else revolves around that, because there'll be a lot more freedom in your life when you focus on the heart and when you focus on loving God and loving others. I really believe that. So remember to stay plugged into God. I love you guys. That's about all I have to say for this subject. I hope that it's not too confusing, and I didn't... That's awesome. Hi, Eleanor. He's made a guest appearance in the last 2 videos. I love you guys. I hope you like this. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this type of format and this type of thing. We'll probably do a Bible study next time, or soon, I'm hoping. And yeah, let me know what you think of this topic. I don't judge you. I'm still praying about it. I don't have all the answers, like I said. But those are some things that I would consider in this topic. But anyways, I love you guys. Hope to see you next time. And yeah, I guess that's all. Bye.